Hey guys, Dr. Sean here again. We're going to talk about blood sugar control today. And it's something that gets overlooked a lot in practice, and the importance of it, the significance of it. It controls so many things, but when we're talking blood sugar, we're really not looking at that per se as much as we are adrenal function, because adrenal function and blood sugar are tied together. They really go hand in hand. So one of the things we're going to look at here is what happens when your blood sugar is kind of bouncing up and down like that. We need it to run on a rope. Your body has a kind of a finite point that will allow your sugar to move. So say, for example, 120 is what we consider a high normal. 60 would be a low. You want your sugar to float somewhere between there all the time. Now that's a very broad range though. You're looking at a 60-point swing. Most people can't do that. And this is where we get in trouble. When we look at blood sugar, we know that if you exceed your body's personal threshold, and this is where individualized care is so important. We all too often see the umbrella care, where, oh, everybody fits under this umbrella, we all work that. It doesn't work. You see it in the pharmaceutical industry all the time. Everything in medicine or in pharmaceuticals is based on umbrella care. Even medicine to some degree, I guess. They look at the statistics and they say, look, this percentage of people are going to do better. What is that percentage? 35%? Somewhere around there. If you do this, you're going to get this result. But then there's a whole group on one side of the bell curve of the umbrella that's going to get worse. There's a whole group on the other side that's not going to get any benefit at all. So you look at that and say, all right, that's not good enough for what we do. We want to be more precise. So when we're looking at blood sugar and how it bounces and ripples along and it moves, you're looking and saying, all right, what's my threshold? So if we take me, for example, my body might be like, look, I'm going to let your blood sugar move, say, 15 points. It's going to let it go 15 points up, 15 points down. Either way, it'll let me move that way. And I'll have no problems at all. But what if it moves more? What happens when it moves more than this? Now, a lot of the research we're going to discuss here came out of UCLA medical school back in the late 50s and early 60s, where they were studying blood sugar effects on the anatomy. And what did the anatomy do? What neurologically happened in the body when blood sugar started to swing? Now, what's interesting about it, what they found, was that if I were to wake up in the morning, say, with a blood sugar of roughly 70, and then that was to go up, but maybe it ran to 95. Now that's well within normal range. There's no problems there. It's easy, right? Maybe not. And this is what they found, was that if it moves beyond my threshold, the body will go into what they call a hyperglycemic state, which is characterized by anxiety, moodiness, irritability for no known reason, fidgetiness, can't hold still. Now what happens when it comes down too fast? Goes the other way. Now we're looking at another problem. Now we're looking at the possibility of something called a hypoglycemic reaction. Now we're not talking full-on hypoglycemia. That would be 60 or below. This is just the same effect on the body. So what we see here is the body goes into a depressive type state that's characterized by fatigue, lethargy, forgetfulness. You set your keys down and go hunting. You can't find them all of a sudden. The brain just short-term stuff. Now what's really cool about this, thank God for Henry Ford. Henry Ford in the assembly line, he was looking at workers one day and he realized that his workforce was about 75% efficient prior to about 10 o'clock in the morning. Then he figured out that after 10, 75% of that workforce dropped to 25% efficiency. And he thought, my God, what's going on here? Why am I losing this? He saw the same pattern happen in the afternoon. From noon to 2, he had 75% efficiency. 2 on, it plummeted, except for a small percentage of his workers. So he started watching them. And he noticed that they were doing something. They were sneaking food. They were eating mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and on a swing shift in the mid-evening. And he noticed that group of people that did that, their production stayed at 75%. So he instituted something known as a coffee break. Who knew? So here we are 150 years later, 100 years later, looking at this saying, wow, what Henry Ford figured out back at the turn of the last century was that the body goes through blood sugar swings. And when it does, it'll crash at certain times of the day. It likes to crash at 10 in the morning, 2 to 3 in the afternoon, 7 to 8 o'clock at night. If you can stabilize this, if you can control this, the crashes stop. You stop the crashes, you fix the swings. You fix the swings, you can help people who suffer from anxiety. You can help people who suffer from depression. And we know that stress is the driving factor behind blood sugar swings. That's where it goes up. So now we're looking at adrenal function, part of the endocrine system. That's really what I'm explaining here. So blood sugar control is really messing with the endocrine system. Cortisol, your stress hormone. Insulin, its counterbalance. So all of a sudden now we're looking at diabetics. So it's just simply doing this. We can help improve your moods, your sleep. We can help someone heal and repair. You can help stabilize blood sugar. What do you think blood pressure does if you balance blood sugar? Down it comes. It's all this simple. You just have to understand anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Put them all together, treat people as an individual, not under an umbrella, and the miracles tend to happen. I'm Dr. Sean.